I'm pinning the two of us. Okay, so admit everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our. Is it? I'm trying to work out. Is it Halloween everywhere now? Is it Halloween tonight?
It's Halloween.
It's Halloween. So happy Halloween, everybody. Shame we're not dressed for the occasion. Well, we might be. I think Massimo is.
Yeah. I've come as a Starbucks cinnamon latte.
So, yeah, thanks for coming. I know everybody's always busy, and again we're lucky to have Massimo, and we're reviewing a series. Well, this is the beginning of our sort of series about illustrating fashion for Louis Vuitton, and what we'll do is because Massimo has a an encyclopedic brain for fashion, more better than I do, and it probably he could give us a little bit of an overview about Louis Vuitton and the brand, and then we'll start digging into the work and we'll sort of go through it. We're going to spend more time speaking about the people who've attended, and then we'll just quickly browse over the ones that are not here. So I can see who's here and who's attending. So welcome and happy Halloween. And I'll just bring up the first slide. But Mass, thanks for coming along and
No,
you
thanks for the
can
invite.
share more about Louis Vuitton than I can. Your knowledge is better than mine.
Uh, uh, Pressure. No, so welcome to everybody. Great to see you and looking forward to seeing your illustrations. So I think Vuitton doesn't really need much of an introduction, but for a brand that is 170 years old, due to its accessories. What's really interesting is that its apparel or the collections, the fashion side is actually only 27 years old, starting in 1993 with Marc Jacobs, 97 actually, sorry, with Marc Jacobs. So and I think ever since the inception of them creating the women's wear line and then eventually afterwards the menswear, it was always nice. First of all, it was this thing of like, how do you create an identity for something that really didn't exist because it comes from accessories, and we just had the damier print and we had the monogram. How do you create an identity with that? And one of the things I really really liked, and this is also thanks to Marc Jacobs, is he immediately started working with artists. Pat, I'm sure you also remember, like the Murakami, the Yayoi
Yeah.
Kusama, which was actually replicated last year again. They redid it. But then also the Richard Prince and the Steven Sprouse, I
Yeah.
think that was quite iconic,
Yeah.
with the graffiti. I think that was really, really great. So like really building this dialogue between fashion and art, I thought was really, really great. And and they've sort of maintained it, even if you're looking at the menswear with Kim Jones, what he was doing, bringing his sort of English heritage, the tailoring into there, but mixing it with street. And then we all know the most iconic and the collection that sold the most for menswear was actually the collab they did in 2017 with Supreme, which honestly, like really, as they say in the States, knocked the ball out of the park, which was really great. Um, but even Gesquier now, who took over Marc Jacobs in 2013. They've just renewed his contract for another 5 years. So he will have been in total 15 years at Vuitton. But he's really great again with like creating this pastiche of textiles, and patterns and shapes. And again, if we look at the fashion shows, I remember when we did the Four Cities, someone actually did Vuitton, and it was really beautiful. They did this runway with all the trunks, which was really great as the catwalk show. So that was nice. And then, of course, we had Virgil Abloh, who came again for menswear, and he really brought a different narrative and a really different dialogue to the brand. He brought a great energy. And it's really quite interesting because when I talk to some people who still work at Vuitton and worked under him, they still say that his presence is very, very much felt inside the company. The way that he was interacting with people, he really had this great this great presence. And it was really unfortunate that, I mean, I was in Miami when he died, and he actually did the show there. The show still went on without him, so it was quite tragic. but now we got Pharrell Williams. So also, Pharrell Williams is the menswear creative director. And we've got, again, we can see how the role of the creative directors are changing a lot now. And also, Pharrell's vision is really taking the brand to a different way. It's going more through a cultural aspect. Already with Virgil, bringing Rihanna, Kanye, and all these other people sort of to work with the brand really sort of opened up a whole new chapter for the brand. So it's really exciting to see what it's doing. So it's like we said, it's only young. It's like literally 3 decades in as an apparel company, but it's 170 years in total as a brand. But it's really on the forefront of keeping up to date with what is happening culturally and around us at the moment. So but I think what we can do now is we can start diving straight in and seeing
Yep.
some of the great illustrations that the artists have done. And that's me. There we go.
So we start with Lisa. I saw Lisa's in. You can switch your mic on, Lisa, and
Yes, I'm
explain.
here.
Hi,
I
Lisa.
can see you.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I brought some spirit
Oh, good.
Halloween.
Thank you. I don't have anything.
We
Good.
just
And you're
have at
wearing
work.
black. Or
Witching.
are you a witch?
Yes. Classic.
Okay. So, Mass, well, I guess we put these slides together, and there was a
Yeah.
real energy to this. I don't know. You can give your thoughts on it because they usually hear from me a lot.
No, but these I like how you really focused on him a lot. Why did you choose to focus more on Pharrell Williams than on the clothes?
So, actually, Pharrell Williams, I'm a big fan of him since my
Okay.
childhood, and I think that he gave very fresh idea for Louis because I love Louis, but it is classy and a little bored. So, I have something in common with the style with the Pharrell, and I share his fresh vision, and it's kind of more playful, Louis, and I like it. So I think he's very talented in all the fields. So I just tried to experiment with his portrait. That's my first time with his portrait. I hope he's quite the same. Because I'm
Oh,
not the portraits are not my best side actually, but I was just experimenting, and that's just one picture in different ways. And actually we have some collection here, also 2 pictures. That's all I got for
no,
1 week,
that's fine. No,
but
the
cowboy
portrait
is
is
very
nice.
good.
What technique did you use? Is this to do the portrait?
So this is the Procreate,
Okay.
Lovely.
just basic.
Lovely.
I can do it. I can do it in different ways, but I prefer Procreate because it's fast and I'm staying fresh without any spots. I'm a girly mostly, so that's why I prefer now digital mostly.
Okay.
But and it's kind of more quickly. So I
But
chose this collection because I don't know. I love cowboys from the childhood, but this collection was really gorgeous. I like it more the men's collection than the women. And um, I'm again nervous. Maybe you can ask me something
don't be nervous.
or give me some tips in my
No. So
creative.
I love that the portrait you've chosen of him is almost him with his guard down. It's capturing him in a maybe vulnerable moment. It's not the classic headshot where the person is the superstar. He's really, really vulnerable. So I like that. The collections, yes, I remember this collection was really nice. So he was definitely onto something. Don't forget that afterwards Beyonce did the country album. So already he was foreseeing the sort of Americana, this cowboy Texan movement that was coming through, which I have to say, when we were here in Paris, it was kind of like, oh, why is he going? He's bringing out his American side. But no, it was really good. Then in the game, I like also in the white jacket, you've got the detailing that's over there. I like the way you've did. I like the yellow coat on top. It's really nice with the accessory. No, I think you've captured it really nice. And then also like the bottom, Patrick knows I love sort of this unfinished line. I think it's, I don't know, it's nice. Like the boots of her, they're incomplete, but it's just a sort of solid line there, which is quite nice. No, I
Thank
think it's
you.
pretty good. But I think I know you said you're not too happy with the portrait as your first, but I think the portrait is really, really strong. It came really well.
I'm usually not happy with any of my works because I still don't have any professional work in this field. So I'm just trying to find out the way in USA to find this to get
Space.
this work. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm on reviewing and keep on growing, and my style keep changing. It's the second year in FIDA, so I think Patrick knows that it was like quite boring, and now I'm moving like further
Yeah,
from the
Yeah.
boring to something fresh, maybe in a style.
Okay.
yeah,
I don't know what you've done before with FIDA, so I've got no idea, but I think, I think it's quite successful, the portrait that you've got there. And I think just keep trying, practicing, that's the only way to go until you become comfortable, until you'll see that naturally, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pei, but like naturally you'll start developing a style of your own. You
I
won't
mean,
identity and then
originally,
become by default.
originally I'm a creative illustrator. I do have education in illustration, but 2 years I'm just trying to send it to the agencies, and they just don't answer. So I just don't get it. I got the good review
yeah.
from different projects, but still struggling to find something
Ah,
like in
okay.
agencies.
So I guess from a different. So let's talk about this in two different ways. One is the images are sort of reminiscent of Warhol's Marilyn Monroe's, which is quite nice with the portraits. So I quite like that sort of nod to Warhol. Using digital illustration and working in this process. I think you could think about doing stop frame animation. So we could have maybe had an animation of the typography. The beauty of using Procreate is that you could potentially animate it. Animation is getting better responses than flat work. So
Mhm.
people are looking to see video work, and easily with this Pharrell piece, you could easily animate that typography. You could animate the crying of the logo on the eye. I think that would be really nice. So something quite subtle. And we're seeing really nice responses. And what's happening is with editorial or advertising, they want a multitude of usage rather than it has one use. So a lot of people will say to us, okay, we love the illustration, but it's a shame there's not an animation there because they want to use it on social media. So my advice from a usage point of view and for gaining traction for commissions is potentially animate some of this. You can do it easily on Procreate by saving your layers as you go along.
Mhm.
I think the other thing is editorial wise, rather than always probably reaching out to big companies, is go for smaller magazines. Try and build up relationships with brands that are not so big at the moment. Like, because luxury brands have a certain status, so they'll be saying, how many followers have you got? They want to
Yeah,
align
yeah.
with people with big traction because they want to believe that you're as important, but they do work with small designers as well. Because I've seen Loewe working with illustrators quite a lot, and they only have like 3,000, 2,000 followers. So it isn't always picking on people that have huge followings. It's really looking at brands that embrace drawing, art, illustration. Anna Sui uses a lot. Paul Smith uses illustration. There's many brands that tap into, and I think Louis Vuitton is a brand that potentially, because they embrace art, would embrace illustration. So I think, there's lots of potential here, but for me, Procreate's one thing, but we are still seeing a desire for handcrafted. So if you were to print some of this out, could you draw on it even more? Could you work on top of it so it feels like it's got a bit of craft? Massimo here, always, as much as digital's really nice, everybody, if you think of who's working for luxury brands at the moment, are still probably between the ages of 40 and 70. So they've grown up with drawing, they've grown up with a very analog approach to image making. So I think personally, they are desiring people that draw. So when there's thousands and thousands of digital artists, one, the fear is it AI? So that's our
Yeah,
biggest fear when it's
yeah, I know.
digital. So all of these little questions pop up. So
I
then
got you.
they
Just
want this.
patience, practice. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
so it's not only I don't think practice is going to make you stronger here. I think it's thinking about could you print it out? Could
Yeah.
you draw on top of it? Could you use pastels on top of the image? So you're mixing digital and analog. It doesn't always have to be just a drawing from nothing. You could finish it off by painting on top, or mark making, or embroidery, or trying different techniques. So don't feel that it only has to be analog from the beginning. I
Yeah.
think it's
Mhm.
sort of mixed
And I think
media.
you said
Huh?
something important with animation and movement. So maybe even like the text, using After Effects or something really
Yeah,
to put that extra layer. But then maybe think about even collage, maybe sticking something on top and then drawing on, keep it textural.
Yeah,
And
I
it
got
really
you. I got
actually
you.
lots of small, there's lots of young publications out and they're always looking for people to do stuff. So like really try, don't give up.
yeah.
Okay, I
All
got
right.
you.
Lovely. Excellent, Lisa. Really, really good. A great start.
And thank
Uh,
you. Thank you so much, both of you. And I don't know what happened. It's just not about the theme, but you look gorgeous today. Massimo look gorgeous also, but you look gorgeous. You look younger. I don't know. Is it your new costume or whatever? What
It's,
happened?
it's,
But I'm a big fan of you, but you look gorgeous
it's
today.
the Halloween
Thank
costume. We,
you.
we put on the
yeah.
mask of how we looked 20 years
I've
ago.
come as a ghost.
I'm in you. I'm 40. I'm almost.
Thank you. I
Thank you. And
don't.
thank you for the Marilyn Monroe and Warhol because I was waiting for your review because I was doing that in those
In the
thinking
mindset.
of the Monroe and yeah, and the Warhol. I
Per, per,
was practicing.
perfect.
And if you
Perfect.
like
Thank you.
text, look at like Stephen Sprouse or all those people from that generation that really used a lot of text hand drawing, which is really good.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
Good.
you. Thank you
Right.
so much.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Julie Chen. I don't think she's here. I'm not too sure what time frame she is, but we can talk about this a little bit so she gets a sort of bit of feedback. Yeah, I think really nice pencil drawing. I think I wasn't too sure if some of it's a mixed media, but it mainly looks like pencil, hand drawing pencil
Watercolor, the
tool.
other one, no? There was one that looked a bit like watercolor, but then again, that's what like the gray one at in the bottom
Yes,
right.
it's purely watercolor and I think like little dashes of white Tipex or something. So I think
I
this
like
sort of
that. I
mix.
like when they like mix the media like this, like old school, like Tipex.
Yeah,
Or remember those like big Uniposca pens that we used to like draw on top, which is quite nice.
yeah. So and I think the face is really nice. I
Yeah.
think the only negative to the little one on the right, she feels quite small and not very fashiony.
Yeah.
And yes, it has that sort of twee style, but I think for someone like you who likes to abstract it and think of fashion, I was doing a bit of research on fashion illustration as a practice and looking at artists. They really started to look at how people draw from fashion. They use markers. They draw things really quick. So like Carl is
Yeah.
kind of capturing the spirit of a fashion designer who can draw as well and bringing that into your mark making process. It's all very fast. Um,
And I have to say, I do like sort of the main picture, with the
yeah,
kind of hair and the blue dress. I think what I like about it is sort of the unfinishedness again, but the dresses are finished, so like the focus is on like it's on the blue dress and she's just sort of outlined, okay, there's shading in the hair and also the main picture, there's detail on the face and the hair's got these colors, but you can really see the outfit more.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
I think for me the less strongest of these is the one on the far right.
yeah, yeah. I agree. I love this mix of colors, and it
Yeah,
feels quite spontaneous and childlike, which makes
nice.
it good. Good. Okay, Min Dim. I let me just check if Min's here.
Oh, I
Uh,
love the Richard Prince reference there. I think there was 2017
yeah, I
collection.
don't think Min
Marc
Dim's here, but
Jacobs. Yeah.
yeah, I liked the because the Richard Prince. I think Marc Jacobs was a big. He bought a lot of Richard Prince.
He did, yes.
Um, I guess
Yeah.
there's a mix of styles here. This like sort of it looks sort of computerized, then painted. It's a real sort of eclectic mix, and I'm not too sure how I felt about it. It felt computerized and then not, and so
I mean,
I don't know.
I like the complete boot. It would have been nice if it was just the one boot. And maybe
Yeah,
if the other leg was left a bit more sketchy or like unfinished, you know?
yeah,
Because it almost looks like, well, I've run out of time to do it more than anything. But like the first boot is really, sorry, I'm like blocking it off. The first one, you know, the front
yeah.
boot, nice.
That, I couldn't
Um,
work out what was wrong with it, and I just was like, I just think a big boot that's finished would have been nice, like still life.
but I do love, I have to say, the Richard Prince
Yeah,
nurses. I don't know, I
yeah,
think it's the whiteness within the sort of this, you know, contrast sort of outline of color, which is really nice. Even on the bags,
yeah,
it's really, really nice.
yeah. I think that's my favorite, and
I
the
think
one
so
on the
too.
left, uh, I guess it's sort of it reminds me of work in progress, but
Yeah,
the
it's a bit of a
multitude of
safe
figures.
zone, you know, also the one on the left is kind of like a bit like deja vu, whereas the nurses, there's something really strong happening over there.
So I'd probably advise you do more backstage. Do
Yeah,
backstage where there's lots of characters,
exactly.
so you can sort of dig into it, and it feels quite fashiony. They're very tall, very long,
Yeah.
which keeps it to fashion. Okay, so next one, e Ina. Let's see if I think I saw Ina. Ina's here. Ina, if you want to turn on your screen, if you can.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi,
Ina.
hi guys. Nice to
So
meet you.
this is the
Nice to meet
latest
you.
one that we've just seen now.
Yeah,
Do you
so
see me or hear me?
yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you. And if you want to explain a little bit about why you picked this piece and your thought process behind it.
Yeah, I really liked the last show of Louis Vuitton, and especially I really enjoyed the installation, like the suitcases, which was lying on the floor, which was very colorful, and it was a crazy idea, I think, to let the models walk on the suitcases. It had this traveling idea and creative fact about traveling and enjoying different countries, which I think is also representing a lot of Louis Vuitton because they also do the suitcases for traveling, and it's quite cute. Good idea, I think, for the
Good,
catwalk. So for me, this was the main thing of the illustration. So I focused more on the background actually than on the figure.
That's quite nice, actually. I like.
Yeah, yeah.
And then what technique did you use? Because also like the bottom, you know, the sort of, I don't want to say tie dye, but like the blue going into the brown. Like, how did you get that?
I think I used a lot of techniques here. It's watercolor
Interesting.
combined with ink, and I used colored pencils for the floor to add some like colorful effects and childish drawing. Like,
And
yeah.
then for the monogram, did you use like a biro, a pen?
Ah, it's just a normal colored pencil in black. So I
Oh,
just
okay.
drawn the typography. It's all together. It's just analog, so I didn't add any digital part in this drawing.
Nice. I like that. No, but
Yeah,
I like, you know, I like you said, you focus on the background, but it's really
yeah,
nice how it's like, you know, like Madonna de Guadalupe, no? She's got this amazing halo around, and then
right.
she's
She's
there.
glowing. She's
She's
glowing.
glowing, you know, like
Yeah,
sort
definitely.
of, you know, yes, you put a highlight on the background, but it's actually bringing the dress more to the forefront, and it's really nice. But also, it's not so invasive, the background. I think it's also
Yeah.
because of the colors you've used, and also if you notice on top, I think subconsciously you realized to leave more white to come into to the
Mhm.
page. So no,
To
it's really
fade
nice.
out the
Yeah,
background, yeah, into the
and I
white
do
of the
love
paper.
that splash of sort of black watercolor or ink just there, it's really like, I don't know if you can see, but over there,
Yeah,
it's really nice.
Yeah,
thank you.
from my perspective, I was just trying to work out whether you needed to use coloring pencils in the background, whether you could have used just the washes at the
Mhm,
bottom,
Yeah.
mhm.
because they really they jump forward quite a lot. So when you're
True.
looking at them, the coloring pencils and the mark making is quite aggressive. So it feels like they're coming forward, where the actual ones on the floor by the feet is much more
Mhm,
subtle and softer. So I
Mm.
think it feels like it's patchworking, like you're doing some
mhm,
patchworking. And I
mhm.
just wonder if, which I quite like, it would be a nice technique for doing a print, but as a drawing, they're really coming forwards, and they're almost becoming quite textural, where the flooring, and like Massimo's talking about the bleeding of the actual inks. Probably
Yeah,
if you just did a little bit of red, a little bit of green, would have been more subtle, even though they could have been still quite zingy. They wouldn't, they're really impactful. I can see the texture, and they're almost the weight of them is similar to the garment. So
that's true.
you don't want them to outweigh the garments. So I'd rather be garments is the hero, and then the background, if it's just if it's there, I'd just like it to be more subtle from my point of view. When I was
Mhm,
just looking at it and I was trying to work out like what bits I like and what bits I'm not sure about. Um,
mhm,
but I think from a different point of view is what you could do is redraw this and just try and limit yourself to, I'm going to do this with color and pencils and be quite aggressive in my mark making, and then I'm going to try something more subtle, and test yourself, and you'll make more mistakes, but at least you'll learn from it. And I
Mm.
think what's happening is you're having so much fun with doing it that you kind of get lost with bringing lots of techniques in, and then it then starts to battle against each other. So I would kind of uh, and usually my tutors used to say, oh no, you shouldn't mix this with this, and sort of in this situation I can kind of think to myself, well, they're really kind of fighting. So I think here I'd like it to be more harmony. um,
mhm,
but you can see that, and also what you should think about is when you're drawing sometimes is if you run out of energy, like I
mhm,
feel that the energy starts to run out, so you kind of color in quite quickly, and then it feels like a little lack of love. And
mhm,
that's what I so sometimes with my work is as I'm going through it, and then I'm like, I want to get this bit done, and I want to make this, I've got something else to do. I kind of fill it in really quickly, and then I kind of regret it, and then
mhm,
sometimes I have to cut the figure out, and then I rework the background. So just just be aware of time, that sometimes even though you want to get a drawing done, it's having that ability to stop and say, okay, I'll come back to that. I'll reapproach it. Yeah. And draw it a few times. Like don't always think I it's always nice to try and attempt the same thing 5, 6 times, and then you'll see, oh, this worked, this didn't work. And we gave this sort of feedback to Tracy Smith, was to really
mhm.
attempt the same
Yeah,
drawing a few times, and then you can start seeing the mistakes. You learn more by repeating yourself and refining. So I think from what you've done, so it would have been nice to see like 5 of these figures and you testing techniques. So hopefully, like next time, if you do it again, is you think about doing a series. That's why we like the idea of this illustrating series. Is you do
mhm,
a series, and then we can kind of question them against each other. So hopefully, from an artistic point of view, that's how I see it, and hopefully, it will give you a bit of something to think about with what you're doing. But a really good drawing, and the legs are lovely, and I thought the figure was good, the proportions good. All of them are there. It's just now the bit of mark making, which is a good thing to do.
Great, thank you for the feedback. I think you really pointed the thing which I always have in my drawings, like that I have so much fun with drawing that I kind of overdraw, that I start to experiment with different techniques, and then it's always quite difficult for me to stop on a certain point. And as you told, to continue working on another day. Or a good idea to not make it happen the same way is to cut out the figure and try out different backgrounds. So this is a good advice. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank
good. And you'll see other illustrators sometimes they if they don't like it,
Mhm.
they get colored. They paint on card like a red.
Mm.
They cut it out and they stick it on top.
you.
We see lots of
Like
illustrators.
manual with
Yes,
scissors and
yeah.
okay,
Do
not
you?
digital.
No, not
Hmm.
digital. No,
Hmm. Hmm.
you don't need to do digital. I'm afraid. Leave it. And and I think Massimo will echo that. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I I
Okay,
I think we're kind of anyway. Ina, well done.
Thank you.
Great
Well
thank
stuff.
done.
you.
Great stuff.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Next one's very different. Look at that. It's nice.
Let's have a look if Joanne's here. Did Joanne come? I can't see her. Okay, so we'll kind of I quite like it. It has a sort of uh
Really cubistic vibe.
yeah, yeah. I like these sort of totally different approaches.
Yeah,
It feels quite old school, and I've been looking at George Braque quite a
exactly.
lot, and I think it has a real sense of that. And it's got a bit of Louis Vuitton. I know you like some of the old Louis Vuitton stuff with the old graphics, and it
Yeah.
has. I think the green bag is the only thing that I don't really like here. But the left is
And I love the little fish she did with.
yes,
No, it's really cool.
the fish is cool.
No, there is definitely sort of this old school aesthetic, like early modern art, like you mentioned, Bracken, that for me, when I saw this, it's like very analytical cubist when they just used whatever they could to create stuff. It's really nice.
Yeah, I love it. I think there's definitely potential here, and I would do more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think even that sort of pink with orange, the squares, and that blue cutting into
Blue.
it,
Yeah.
there's so
Look
many
at
nice
that,
bits.
the blue with the black, the little triangle inside there that is from one of the old, I think it's from like the 1920s old monogram of Vuitton, which was really nice.
Yeah, no, great. I love it, and even though some of like the typography on the Louis Vuitton bit isn't perfect, but it really works. It reminds me of that old school
Yeah.
little like a painter. I can't remember his name. It wasn't Leisure, Fernand Leisure,
Ah, Leger, yes.
Leger. There's a little bit of that,
Yeah.
and I think some of the more Italian. There's a few Italian cube sort of modern.
Well, I mean, God, maybe, I don't know, but I'm getting a bit of like the Kiriko, like,
That's
he, the one of the portrait of Apollinaire, where it looks like
yeah,
he's wearing the Ray-Bans. It's just like, this metaphysical sort of thing by
yeah,
layering this collage. It's really nice.
yeah, yeah. Good,
It's
good.
fresh to see as well.
Really, really good piece, Joanne. And I know sometimes she struggles with certain images, but this one I think more this sort of very graphic typography and then these sort of painterly bits is really nice. It's a real good combination. So carry on. Um,
Okay.
ah,
I
I've
really like.
noticed. I'll speak to Tomeo if she's entered tomorrow. So Batilde, I don't know if Batilde's here. She said she was going to join, so we can kind of talk about it. I'll find out if she was going to join, but
I love how she's using the card as.
yeah,
And it's sort of again the sort of subtle hint that the garment's there, the hair's there, but then she's focusing on the face, the arm, the back. It's I think graphically and from sort of a composition perspective, it's really, really strong, this
yeah. It has a sort of
Murakami
Peter
band.
Blake,
Yeah.
Peter Blake, the sort of British painter,
Yeah. And yeah. With the graphics, I think it's the graphics on the bag that make it quite Peter Blake-ish.
and painted on the card. He used lots of
Yeah.
card and painted on top and did this sort of combination of it feels quite real mixed with this sort of poppy pop
Yeah.
art
Also a
looking
bit
good.
Baldessari, I guess, maybe. No,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
more in the bag, the
Yeah.
Baldassari. Um, but yeah, no, really nice. I think Batilde,
What is it? Can you tell from your side? Is it
is a painting.
the painting? And it's really nice.
Yeah, yeah, because she took a photograph and then I cropped it because it was badly photographed.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I neatened it up so it felt more finished.
No,
Um,
but it's really nice. I think it's really strong.
yeah, I don't know why she's not joined because she was asking me earlier. So I'll find out. I don't think Katie's here neither. And this kind of reminded me a bit of the Olympic one that we had. It felt
Yes.
has that really bright orange. Uh, and Jason Brooks has a sense of head candy. It's got a real,
It reminds me of, do you remember like the noughties, the 2000s, that sort of aesthetic,
yeah,
like quite simple, but then focus on like the hair, it's like this minimalist elements with some detail going through. It really
yeah,
reminds me of the 2000s.
yeah. And I think have a look at Jason Brooks. He was doing all the head candy stuff, all the music album covers, and I feel there's a real sort of potential. And I feel this is a real leap forward for Katie's work. It feels commercial massively. You know, you could really see this, and I know it's probably done in Procreate, which is nice. And I think she's starting to get her little style, which is great. So well done, Katie. A great piece. Um,
I'm looking now at Jason Brooks. You're right, it
oh,
is.
I've
Yeah.
got the wrong name here. So this was
I was gonna say
Maubrini.
this twice.
I don't know why her name's wrong. So I don't know if she's here. Lana. No, so luckily she's not. But Lana Morbrini, uh, yeah, so a nice still life, good to see. Um, yeah, I think there's a because I know she likes working with flowers, and has so many different techniques and approaches
Yeah.
with the work. So
Like if you can't see that these are the same person, they're completely, completely, completely different. They're both equally good, like two completely like the one on the right I really like, and also like the figures dancing in the background. They're really nice. And then again, these contrast colors that's going around the black skirt. But the flowers are beautiful. Like absolutely stunning.
yeah, I think totally different, and I really love these, like you were saying, these characters dancing are almost more interesting than this finished figure.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Because you want
think,
to know more about what's happening behind.
yeah, and you could imagine a print of
Yeah.
dancing figures on a really nice Miu Miu top or something like that. It'd be really, really nice. I could imagine because they did the cats. Remember the little cats,
Yes,
the
yes,
black
yes, yes.
cats? I could imagine a really nice sort of
Or like
girly
Julie
top.
Verhoeven, remember she also had all those like little characters, the whole
Yes. But I just love that sort of naive drawing approach
yeah.
more than this character here. Even though this is well drawn and I quite like this sort of outline technique, but I think it really works here. And I know Lana is a good print designer, so she
Okay.
thinking of moving characters and drawing in a more graphic style could work as a really nice print. And this is just a really nice sort of still life
That's
finished
almost
artwork.
like advertorial.
Very yeah, very advertorial. I think there's great potential there.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see I'd
But I
like to
love,
see more.
yeah, I love how she's done the flowers. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, the flowers are great. So well done, Lana. Nina. Nina,
I think
every
Nina's
time
here.
she comes with these sort of really experimental creative art, and I'm starting to really there's something quite gripping. I don't
Nina's here, I
understand.
think, isn't she? I
Sorry?
see Nina.
I don't know if Nina's here, but
Yes, the iPad's turning on.
here we go, Nina. You've landed, Nina. Well done.
Yeah. Hi. Do you can
I
E- e- explain, Nina, because firstly, it's really nice to meet you and see you in person, and secondly, um, what has been fascinating for me is you've submitted lots and lots of little bits of work, and I think now you're starting to get is your vision's kind of coming through, and I feel. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I think it's my best work I've done yet.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know why, but I like this boy.
yeah, I don't know what you feel. But it seems sort of like it could be a print on a garment.
yeah,
It's
it's
almost wacky, and I love that you've got your own technique. It's your approach, and it feels like something that they might do as a print on a bag. Uh, you
and I
know,
love it also because in Paris now at the Vuitton Foundation, there's a whole exhibition on pop art. And and it's just I love because it does almost look like it's pop art because you got like all these sort of these logos and on the outfit, these bright colors. It's absolutely beautiful.
yeah,
And those like green sunglasses, it's like wow.
they're supersonic, and I think
No,
what
but also chromatically, because like look at, like the patchwork on the outfits, to get those to actually the way that they all work together, there's a lot going on if we're looking at it at this picture, but it's so unified, it's so coherent, it's really, really nice.
Yeah. And you've drawn all the elements. Explain yourself, Nina. Come on, we've been talking.
Yeah, I like the work that Virgil Abloh has done.
Yes.
In this man collection, it's really great. I love this outfit. Yeah, because it's so different, but it's still great. Yeah, and I was also a little bit experimenting with a lino cut.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good.
but it
So the
didn't.
background.
That's the background. Yeah, because the foreground didn't really work well. But I've seen that the background, yeah, was working very
Ah,
well because I started painting with acrylic.
Okay.
I always have a little bit problem to put this traditional things when it comes to digital, so digital, to digital,
yeah.
making it on digital. So I put it on Procreate and finally make it on Procreate, the whole thing, and put the lino cut background together. And yeah, I I was really experimenting, and I think it's yeah worked out
Good.
well.
Good. I think I would have liked some of the Massive Attack graphics. You could have you could have played with some of the graphics more on the garment where you've painted them. There's a real sort of old flyer feel about it, like where people made old flyers and
Yeah.
for raves. There's a real sense of raves, which is what Virgil really celebrated. And working with the metalheads, working with Goldie, honestly, and I love the lino cut. I think the lino cut. Now you've told me it's lino cut, has made me even happier.
Yeah. Like I mean, wow, I haven't heard of lino cut in such a long time. I'm glad it's still there and people are still using it.
Yeah, it's great, and I think it's added the tension between this really hyper digital illustration and then this sort of lino cut, very old school approach and mixing them. And this is where we were talking earlier about people would say, "Oh, you shouldn't mix this and this." Here, it actually works because I think Louis Vuitton is about collaging different things together, people together, about collaborating and mixing things. And I feel this it's refreshing when you see it. When I saw it, I thought, Nina, I thought this was the best work you've made by a million percent.
Okay, thank you.
Seriously,
Yeah,
I
yes,
feel you're in a groove here, and I'd be looking at this sort of futuristic glasses, looking at brands like Balenciaga, where they're having these sort of futuristic feel to them. So I'd be really thinking about brands like that, and I love this sort of rough collage. it's almost very childlike and playful. And then the lino cat in the background is just added the magic element, and you know, it's like on acid. I feel like I need LSD to look at your art.
No, well done. It's really nice.
Good. So
Thank you.
well done, Nina.
Yeah. Thank you
I'm
so much.
a great piece. I'm so happy to see you really you've plugged away at it. That's what I love to see. You've kept going, and that's the most important. So well done. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
So Kaz, I know Kaz is here. I can see Kaz.
Yeah, good evening, even. Sorry.
I
Hello, Kaz. So I guess if you can give it, because you use a very pencil, very sort of fragile way of drawing. Um, Explain yourself why you picked this image.
So typically I would actually use ink and actually use a calligraphy dip pen to go over the lines. But I did it in this piece because I wanted like a cleaner lines for the bag and the suitcase, which maybe I should have used like an ink pen instead as opposed to a dip pen. But I think I used coloring pencils instead, which might have been not the best choice. Um, but I wanted to bring that out more than the clothes.
Yep.
But actually, yeah, looking at it, it is very light, and maybe it could have used some ink somewhere just to bring out some elements, maybe.
What do you think, Mass?
No, I like it. It has a very dreamy vibe. If I'm looking at this, I'm thinking almost, I don't know, I'm just telling you what's coming in my head now. It's kind of like Sophia's Coppola, The Virgin Suicides, like this sort of dreamy aesthetic, or maybe some of Sarah Moon's photographs, which again have like, the females in the forefront, but there's always like a softness around it. And I think the fact that you haven't drawn all of her arm and, also at the bottom, there's sort of, I don't know. There's something I really like. It's very ethereal. Is that the word I'm thinking? Like, but
Yep.
it's really, really nice. And then again, I love how the bag is the thing that you've concentrated on the most, that it's a much, much more detail.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
really nice. I really like the softness and this dream-like aesthetic that comes through with the illustration.
Yeah. And I think where we've seen Nina's work and then we come to this, which is totally the opposite. If you'd have used ink on this, you'd have killed it. So
Okay.
I have listening to you talking there, have more confidence in the work that you're making, because it is not, it's good. And I think there's a confidence in it. I've seen your work for a while now. And, if you look at the blues in the eyes and the blues in the back, this sort of combination of this sort of cobalt blue and then this very sort of rich, I used to call it Dali blue, but it's like sea aqua blue. And you kind of got this, I'm drawn into the eyes, and I feel there's a romance to the drawing compared to others. And I think there's enough. And as Massimo had said earlier about leaving things out, so it almost feels like it, because it's quite dreamy. It wants us to imagine the rest of the bag and the rest of the image. So I feel that this is a really nice sort of structured piece of drawing, and it shows confidence. So don't don't feel like you needed to add more. I feel like you've just got enough here. Maybe I might have wanted to see a little bit more of the left arm, whether it was doing something, but I still feel that the face is really nicely done, and she's quite seductive, which is quite good.
And then like she's really staring at you, like she's really like
Yeah,
looking at you. And I think that's also quite a strong thing.
yeah. I think it's quite a powerful piece. So, Kaz, I think don't don't underestimate what you've done.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And
Yeah.
thank you for the comment about the eyes and the bag, because yeah, I was trying to make them quite similar. And yeah, so you
Yeah,
could look at
no,
the eyes and the
le-
bag.
really, really, really nice. And I think because you've the weight of the bag and the folds of the bag and the detail in the bag, and then you've left the garment quite almost left out. It
Mhm.
really enables me to focus on the bag. So I move around the image and then I get back to the bag. So it's lovely. So I think it's a great piece. So well
Mhm.
done. A
Thank you.
really confident drawing from you. And I know you've got this nice drawing style, which is great, much more subtle. So it's nice to see it like this this sort of approach and using coloring pencils. Good, great. I want to
Thank
see
you.
more.
Thank you.
Uh, Valia is, I don't know if Valia's here.
I don't see her.
No, I don't see her here. Anyway, okay, so I guess the one on the left is quite cinematic. It feels
Mhm.
like a still from a film, which feels. I personally prefer the left, the one that feels like a cinema shot, than the one on the right. I don't know what you think, Mass.
I agree, but I do love like the texture on the dress on the right. It's really nice. The bottom, like the black and white specks on the dress. I think it's really, really nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to see how she. It looks like she's used digital as well. I'm not too sure if there's a combination of techniques. She's not here to tell us because the background is quite
It looks a bit like
abstract.
Emily Blunt, one on the left.
Yeah, and I'm not sure there's so many different techniques and approaches. I'm not too sure if she's
But I
using
think it's
a bit
all
of digital.
Procreators, isn't it? Or not? Or maybe the white on the bottom of the dress, the line almost looks like it's a Tipex or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. Is maybe a bit of it scanned in from drawing, and then she's worked in Procreate
Yeah.
and sort of played about. I'm not sure, but I think the color combination, the pink and the sort of magenta and the blue is really nice. But I think the cinematic one is quite cool. I think there's a
Yeah.
real, again, it feels editorial. It feels like an editorial piece, when the right
Then
one
again,
probably
that
feels more.
subtle, yellow line on top of the
Yeah,
shoulders, actually.
yeah.
But
It's
noticing a lot of yellow.
Yeah, no, I
That's it.
like it. I think it's a good it's hard because together I don't think they work together. I'd have to
No,
see them apart because they're
no.
kind of fighting with each other.
Nice. Well done.
Good. Well done, Valia. If I've said that right, Mass, you tell me if I've said that Valia.
I think it's correct. Valia. Valia.
We have to.
Papadopoulou.
Hamida. I don't know if Hamida's here. I don't think so. No, Hamida's not here. Went for a sort of still life advertising
For real, yeah.
image. Californian Dream. It looks quite old school, almost
It
like
looks
this.
old school, but I have to say, it reminds me a lot. I don't know. Loewe has done a whole series of perfumes with like drawings like that.
Yeah,
But by default, my head is sort of, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking of Loewe.
yeah,
But I like sort of the pink and the blue, and you can almost see like this movement, which is really, really nice what she's done.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think for an editorial, it's quite nice.
Or it could be a little printed postcard,
Yeah.
a little postcard that feels like a Polaroid or something. I think there's the use of doing these sort of point
I wonder why she went
point
for the
pins.
perfume. I'm curious to know.
I don't know. We'll have to find out. But I think that the techniques, there's lots of little techniques in there that sort of
Yeah.
sprayed, looks like spray, which is quite cool. So I know there's some sort of techniques going in there. Um, the only other thing is if you're going to do an orange and you copy paste it, people will spot that. So I would draw three oranges and so they look different rather than copy paste. It feels it becomes quite lazy. So if you're going to do any objects, draw at least three of them and then you can repeat them. And then it feels like, oh, they've spent a bit of time. That would be a bit of feedback that would happen to me is someone would say, "Ah, you've been a bit lazy there. You just copied and pasted the object and made it bigger and smaller." So draw three oranges. It's not going to take you too long. But the bottle's nice. I think it looks good. An interesting image, and I think it sort of works. A really nice color combination. So well
Color
done.
combination is really nice. It reminds me of this photographer called Ryan McGinley, where he sort
Yes.
of does these colors, which is really nice.
Yeah. And then
Oh, I like these. Petra.
Petra. So I don't think Petra's here, but these are older drawings that she had done, and I
Nice.
guess she wanted us to review because I guess captured some of these images, and this is sort of her illustration. She has a great style, and I know you'd like this sort of style, Mass.
I do like I love the pinstripe on the top right, the way
Yeah.
she, but is a stripe done like is this all done old school by hand or is she using mixed media for this?
She draws a lot by hand, but I think also the jacket on there looks like it was brought in by Photoshop. It looks like the real garment from the image.
Yeah,
So I guess it's
it's
sort of
great.
a mixed media.
No, really nice. And even like the bomber jacket at the bottom, like the blue floral one. That's
Yeah,
really
be great for a lookbook.
yeah.
Yeah,
But it is very old school. Like even the woman on top in red, there's this old school aesthetic, which is really nice.
yeah, yeah. The sort of lux of illustration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
like late 90s, early 2000s, like really nice.
Yeah, and Petra gets lots of commissions, so she's constantly working. So she's a busy bee. So we're lucky to sort of get these illustrations and see them. So Petra, thank you, and it's great to always see these drawings and these sort of images and see your work. So well done, very comprehensive work. If I was to give any feedback, it would be how do we modernize them a bit so they start stepping into a new world? Yeah, because if we're reflecting on the old history of romantic illustration, David Downton and people like that, is
Exactly.
how do we step forward and move art or illustration forward? But again, very comprehensive. People love this style of illustration. So, and it's very hard to do. It seems quite easy, but it's not. Very difficult. So well done.
Well done, Petra.
So the only question I've seen, Tamio, I see you on here. Did you send any images
Yeah.
in?
So sorry.
Did you
I
send any images in?
Yeah, I did.
Ah, okay, because I don't know if I've got them. If are you able to show them? I can screen share with you.
Um, oh, hang on.
Are you on your laptop?
Yeah. I think.
I'll stop sharing. Let me stop sharing, and I'll
Uh,
see. I'll see if I can find them while you're here because I've spotted you here, and I was trying to work out. Um, Sorry, guys, we're going to have to be shooting from the hip. Which email did you send them to? Info at?
yeah. And yeah, I noticed here you've downloaded. So
You sent them via WeTransfer. Let me have a look because I was trying to work out what actually happened to your pieces. So I can see WeTransfer here. Let me have a look.
just a second. Oh,
If you can find them before me, would be great.
okay, just a second.
Um, I'm just looking as well. Cameo, Ngora. No, they're not. They're not
I
on.
guess
They're
I
not.
have to.
Have you got them?
Uh, mm,
Because while we're on here, it'd be nice to see them. Oh, so while you're looking, I'll just share my screen again. So just to let you know, our plan of action. Massimo hasn't seen this yet. Can you see the screen, Mass, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So our goal is to see if we can do an anthology or a collective of all of the series over the year and maybe try and make a book, or we're going to put it into, we'll make an ebook of the whole of the series, but we're going to see if we can publish it as well. So uh, just to let you know, this is sort of a work in progress of all the work that you're putting together because we get sort of great feedback from doing the books and it gets good work for people. So um, our goal is for between me and Massimo to sort of publish a book about the whole series over the 12 months, and we're going to try and continue it. So this is a work in progress. I'm kind of giving you an insight of what's going to be happening. And Massimo hasn't seen this, so this is his first experience, and he can give me feedback later, and I'll get my feedback. But anyway, so did you find anything, Tomeo?
I have to connect my HD because yeah, I backed up all my work.
You can resend some of them to me now if you want, as individuals. You could email them if you want, because I've got a funny
Maybe
feeling
on
they're on my laptop.
YouTube. I just
I'll enable you to share the screen as well. So if you want to share your screen, Tomeo.
hang on just a second. I'll just connect with YouTube.
Yeah, I probably would have found them. Don't know if my laptop's not here. Otherwise, I'd have a look. Anyway, so the next series is Gucci. So that will be a fun one to do. There's been a lot of the Gucci film. I was watching it the other night. Um,
The one with Gaga.
the one with Gaga. So I liked it. Did you like it, Mass? Did you like House of Gucci? Did you think it was good? I thought it was good.
It was okay. I think the acting was quite bad. She sounded Russian, not Italian.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I
I,
they should have just done it with them just speaking English instead of like putting on like this Domino's fake Italian accent. It would have been much nicer.
I guess from an Italian, it probably felt quite crude, but for me, I was like, because she is Italian, isn't she, Gaga?
Well, Origins, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
so
it,
she has her roots are there.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, so I thought there's some sort of and did you like him? Did you think he was a good character?
Yeah, he was good. What's his name? Adam Driver was the guy, wasn't it?
I don't know what his name is, but
Yeah. No, it was nice. I wouldn't say it was a favorite, but it was okay.
yeah, I know it got such bad press, but have you watched it more than once?
I just struggled to finish it the first
Ah,
time.
watch it again. I've watched it four times.
I mean, more than once. The first time was torture.
Oh, right. I didn't mind it. I watched it again. I've seen it four times. I guess how could
Yes.
you? But in bits. Tomeo, how's the joy?
Yes, I'm having problems here.
Are you able to send them or can you find them
Uh, how can I share the link, the on YouTube?
on YouTube or we
Yes,
transfer? You can send me some of the images again if you can. Are you able to email them?
I'll just I just post it on the chat.
Let's have a look.
YouTube.
I can
Yeah,
see YouTube. Are they the shorts?
yeah,
Okay, let's look through this.
yeah, because the still images, for some reason, I'm having some problems to open my
Okay, let
drive.
me share my screen here and we can have a look. Okay. So, oh,
The first, yeah, the one I did the one on the left,
this
and
this one looks nice.
Oh, there's the
yeah, the one
animation.
was based on
Oh,
the
that's nice.
last collection.
Huh,
Nice.
nice.
Is this another one? Yeah, Louis
Yeah,
Vuitton.
that was working in progress. This one, I focus on the ambassadors, Louis
Good.
Vuitton ambassadors. Yeah, I worked on the image and then I drew the images and then I worked them on Photoshop and Illustrator as well.
Yep.
Nice.
This is Louis Vuitton. Yep.
Yeah, I guess. Hang on, I guess. Yeah, yeah.
Is it playing it?
All the others, yeah, all kind of working in
I was
progress.
doing this
Yeah.
one.
No,
I know that's
yeah,
sauna.
yeah, this one is on. Yeah, that one is also Louis Vuitton. The working in progress from the first reel. I drew everything and then I did all the patterns in Illustrator and I paste everything in Photoshop and then I animate in After Effects.
Nice. How long did it take you to do it all?
Right, let me
The
just.
drawing was kind of quickly, but then the to paint, yeah, it took me a while. Maybe
So
I did a bit about 3 days kind of thing. That is
let
also
me
yeah
get.
that's from the second reel.
To be honest, Tamayo, I'm glad we saw this more than what we might have seen, uh, because I guess two things. One, I haven't seen you for a while, which is nice, because you've been a busy bee. I've noticed you've been doing the Zorna stuff, and
Yeah, yeah.
so which has been fantastic. So I just want to see if everybody's on here. Some people are on here. So just to give you all a bit of an overview, is for a while I've been sort of telling Tomeo to do animations and to record herself drawing and making images. And then it took probably 2 years for you to actually listen to me, and then you did it, and then you got commissioned work from it. So it took you that long to listen, but you listened in the end. And even though you remember, I was saying you should draw and you should record yourself and you should draw and record yourself. And you started because people love to see the brushstrokes of when you were doing the brushstroke work. That to me is more interesting than the final outcome, is watching you mark make this work in progress. So I think I'm glad that we've watched these because we might have missed them seeing finished works, but I like to see the animations. And I think you're starting to get work from this, and I feel this is great news. And I feel that you're starting to find a vision, and I'm trying to these are lovely. This has taken so long. Look how lovely the line work is. What do you think, Mass? This one's great.
No, they're really nice. And like you said, it's nice to see behind the scenes, And I just love the technique that you're using.
It's so good to know. So
Oh,
thank
thank you.
God you finally started to do it. And I know it's probably been quite difficult. And I remember I was saying to you, maybe you could talk, but I think you were right not to listen to me on that bit. You've decided to just capture you drawing, and you're using the approach and the brushstrokes. And I feel you're now getting there. And the one where you showed the animation as well, which was in, I think it was in this one as well. Um, yeah, here, there's some really nice stuff happening here.
And I like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I
Like the
can pause it.
graphics on the dress there.
This is getting cool, no?
Yeah.
Tomato,
Yeah, I do
really,
everything and then I
really good.
paint it in Photoshop, yeah, because I'm not very good with colors.
No, I think there's a really nice uh, the techniques of the drawing. The legs are really cool. I feel you're starting to lack. There's like old animation. No, Mass, do you feel it reminds me of the old school animation? And I think it's good because it puts you into your own zone. It doesn't feel digital. It feels there's something quite crafty about it. And I feel Tamara, you're onto something now, and there's something good going on. Like these are really not like this part. I'll play it. Yeah, that figure. I think there's some really. It's quite sort of old modernism, and we were talking about Chirico, and we were talking about old Italian painters when they were doing stuff. He drew sculptures with no faces.
Yeah.
You'd know probably a little bit more than me, Mass, but
No, they're really nice. Those are really nice. And I like the graphics that you've done. There was, yeah, those look so nice.
yeah,
I like the detail on the shoes, you know?
yes, there's something. We're starting to get like this was great. Like the panning up is it feels quite basic, and the basic part of it is good, and the way it's just drawn, it just feels very direct. It feels like you've drawn it at the fashion show. It feels believable rather than it feels like this finished piece. So I feel Tomo, you're starting to get into your groove. I think ever since the Jatinder, you know Jatinder Mas, don't you? Remember
Yes,
Jatinder?
yes, yes, yes.
Tamayo did a project with Jatinder, and
Ah,
he loved her work and used it, and he made a pair of shoes for her. Is that correct, Tamayo?
oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So Tamayo, I feel this. You're in your zone. Well done.
Thank you.
Well
Yeah, I'm
done.
kind
No,
of
really nice.
experimenting a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're mixing Photoshop, all these different techniques, and you're drawing and mark making and being really playful. And it's taken probably from the beginning of you becoming a member to then make videos, to then make animations, to mix your graphics work and your illustration together. We're now in the sweet spot. And like Zorna used all your work during the Olympics. They've promoted. Hopefully, they're going to give you a nice flight on a jumbo jet somewhere and look after
Hope
you.
they're listening to you.
Yeah, but it was so good to see that happen and see your work being used. So well done on that, on that note. And it was great to see a project happen and then they took you further and got you to do more work. So well done there. And I think you're getting somewhere now. So Tameo, well done. And I'm glad we got to see these. And it's
Oh,
on
thank you.
YouTube. And hopefully this will inspire the others that you're putting stuff on YouTube Shorts, you're doing stuff on Instagram, you're acting like a millennial, which is great, or a centennial. You're,
Oh, no, no.
yeah, you're
Double the age.
No, no, but I'm saying it's great that you have started to embrace all these different approaches to showcasing your work, and it kind of gives everybody else here a little bit of a lesson that you need to start using all of these free facilities. Yeah, for me, Massimo, anybody watching, is that all of us have to just get on with it and make stuff. You're just doing it, which is nice. So for all of us here, I think well done, Tomo. It's good. It's great to see how you've taken your work and you've just had courage. And it may not be a perfect animation, but it works for what it does. And I think a lot of people seeing it will go, "That's cool. I like this. This could be useful." And it did. Zorna commissioned you, got you to do lots of work. So, Tomo, it's great to hear from you. And I haven't had the moment to actually say well done.
Thank you.
So congrats and keep bashing it out, keep doing it because I think there's lots more for you to come and keep experimenting. So thank you, well done, Tamay. Thanks for this, and
Well
Thank
done. Very
you.
nice.
I'm glad this happened.
Thank
Well,
you.
well done, and I don't know what time it is, Tamay. What is it?
Quarter past
Yeah,
nine. Oh, where
so
are you?
five, around five. Sorry, guys, I'm not turning my camera on. It's five here.
Yeah, that's
5
fine. That's
a.m. in
fine.
the morning.
Yeah. It's nice and early for you. So thank you
Yeah,
for
it's 5
turning
a.m.
up because I know it's really, really early for you, and it's a killer. So
But thank you for all the feedback and everything.
yeah, no, great stuff. You deserve it all. I'm trying to see how I can unshare now because we're on stop share. There we go. Anyway, we've gone over time. I did say to Massimo we'd be 45 minutes. We've gone half an hour over. But again, thanks, Mass, and again, we're lucky to have you and on because I know you were planning a big night out, being a ghost or a witch, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. I'm gonna go to the Moulin Rouge now and do some Beetlejuice.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks a lot, and
Thank you.
this is number one of many. So we've
We'll
got
see next month, Gucci.
Gucci, House of Gucci. No.
House of Gucci. I'll watch it again.
All right, Mass. Anyway, thank you everybody, and have a good night.
Thanks.
And I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, Massimo. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Thank you.
Bye.